Hey there, today on Big Out Books, I'm here to do a quick TBR video for the upcoming Women in Translation Readathon. I believe that this is happening from August 25th through 31st, and this readathon is being hosted by Sciarappa and Kendra Winchester. I'll link both of their channels down below if you want some more details on this readathon. But the idea for this readathon is pretty straightforward. You are just encouraged to pick up a book that has been written by a woman and has been translated into a language that you enjoy reading in. Now, as per usual on this channel, the TBR that I've put together is a little bit extra. It's a little ambitious, and I can't guarantee that I'm going to read all of these novels that I'm going to show you, but I am really going to try. I just can't help myself. I get so excited looking at all the fabulous unread books that I have on my shelf. My goal for this readathon is to go for a little mix of quality and quantity, so I have tried to go for shorter books for this readathon. I believe all of these books are under 300 pages, so I'm hoping that I can just burn through a lot of books and discover some new favorites in this pile. So here's what I'm planning on reading. To start off, I have two books written by French-Canadian women that I'm very excited to read. I feel like this is one of my biggest blind spots as a Canadian reader, though I do try to prioritize reading books from diverse Canadian perspectives, and I read a lot of works by Indigenous authors. I feel like I tend to focus on Canadian works that were written in English as opposed to the really rich Francophone literary community that this country has, so I need to start fixing that. There is no excuse. I don't know why I've been ignoring you, Quebec, but I am on it. I'm going to fix it. So for this readathon, I have this collection of short stories called The Party Wall by Leroux. This is pretty contemporary. Apparently it was a Giller Prize finalist a few years ago. I don't really know too much about what to expect from the stories in this collection. From the description on the back, it sounds like they are largely about relationships between people and personal revelations. So hoping this is going to be good. It looks like it has won a good amount of French prizes, so I am looking forward to this one. I'm also really looking forward to reading Mad Shadows by Marie-Claire Blais. This is more of a modern classic from the 1950s, I think, and it just sounds really intense. I'm going to read you the sentence off the back of the cover. These characters inhabit an amoral universe where beauty reflects no truth and love is an empty delusion. So this sounds like my kind of story. Also, it is 127 pages, so should be pretty quick to burn through this one. There is also another French translation that I would like to get to for this readathon, although it is not French-Canadian, and this is The Lover by Marguerite Duras. She's a pretty well-known French author, and I've heard a lot of people say good things about this book. All I know about it is that it's some kind of love story set in Vietnam during the French colonial era. I'm hoping that this is going to be a sad love story because those are the only ones that I enjoy reading, but even if I don't end up liking the story that much, at least it is only 117 pages. Moving over to South America, there are a few books that I would like to check out. One of them is The Passion According to G.H. by Clarice Lispector. This is one that I'm not sure that I will have time to squeeze it in because even though Lispector's novels are often quite short, I find that they can take me a good amount of time to work through because she is so philosophically dense with her writing, so not sure that I can squeeze this one in, but I have been meaning to read this iconic novel of hers for a long time. All I know is that something crazy goes down with a cockroach, and I'm excited to find out what that is. I also excitingly have 3 books written by Argentinian authors that I'd like to get to for this readathon. I find that writers from Argentina are very dark and strange, and they just never let me down, so I'm always excited to try a new author from that country. The first of these books is Feebleminded by Ariana Harwicz, and this is a book that is about some kind of twisted mother-daughter relationship, and Joanna Walsh is blurbed on the front as describing this as a kick up the arse to the literary novel. Feeble-minded disassembles form, sensibility, everything. At once a riot, a revolution, and a head trip. That sounds like my kind of read. I also have August by Romina Paula. I mean, it is perfect to read a book called August in August during the Women in Translation Readathon. How could I not? All I know about this book is that it's about a 21-year-old girl who loses one of her best friends, and it's about her dealing with that grief, and she returns home to rural Patagonia, and I've never read a book set there, so I think that that will be really cool. And finally, I have People in the Room by Nora Lange. Apparently, this is a modern classic that has been overlooked in the English-speaking world for far too long, so I'm excited to give this one a go. She sounds like she was a cool lady. I know that she was friends with Jorge Luis Borges, who's one of my favorite authors, And the introduction to this book was written by Sciarappa, who's another one of my favorite Argentinian authors. So looking forward to this one. This book sounds like it's going to be pretty strange. It is about a woman who is spying on 3 other women who live across the street, and she's like imagining what their lives are, and she starts hallucinating, and it sounds like it's going to be a wild ride. So really looking forward to people in the room. Moving over to Russia, I was very excited recently to find this book, City Folk and Country Folk by Sofia Khvoshchinskaya. What I'm most excited about with this book is that it's a 19th century Russian classic written by a female author, and I have read a lot of 19th century Russian classics, but none of them have been written by female authors, which I feel horrible about. So I'm really excited to rectify that and to see what her perspective was on this time period. Don't know too much about the story again, but it sounds like from the back that this is a seemingly gentle yet devastating satire of Russia's aristocratic and pseudo-intellectual elites in the 1860s. And I don't know about you, but I am always down to see someone rip their society to shreds. So it sounds like this could be a fun read. It also has nods to Jane Austen on the back, so hoping that this is going to be delightful. Moving forward to a more modern view of Russia, this is a newer release. This is Other Russias by Victoria Lamasco, and this book just looks really cool. It is a mix of cartoons with some text commentary, and apparently the author has just traveled all around Russia for the past 8 years or so, and it's just basically her conversations that she's had with people from various backgrounds, living in various different parts of the country, and they're just sharing their thoughts on what they feel like the Russian experience is in this modern day. So I'm really excited to check this one out, although I don't really know what to expect from it, but it just looks like a really creative and engaging way to explore the modern Russian experience. I also have a novel by a Polish author that I'd like to get to, and that is Drive Your Plow Over the Bones of the Dead by Olga Tokarczuk. This book has recently been translated into English, and I feel like in Canada the hardcover version just came out, but I ordered a paperback copy from the UK because I preferred this cover because it has dogs on it, so that's an easy sell for me. As for the book itself, it sounds like some kind of strange literary mystery about a teacher whose 2 dogs have gone missing, and she's using some unusual ways of investigating where her dogs are. So sounds like a pretty cool book, and I've heard a lot of people whose opinion I trust speak quite highly of this one, so really looking forward to it. And lastly, we're going to move over to Finland. I have owned this giant collection of the works of Leena Krohn for a really long time. I've been really excited to checking this out because she's apparently one of Finland's most well-regarded speculative fiction authors, but I feel like this thing is just massive and I've been put off from trying to dip into it. So I'm hoping that during this week I can at least start cracking into this collection. If you look at the front, it looks like there are a few different completed novels and novellas in the first section, and then the second section of this collection has some short stories and some excerpts from novels that haven't fully been translated into English yet. So it looks like there are some shorter novellas in here, so hopefully I can read at least 1 or 2 of them and really give this author a try. And finally, throughout the month of August, I have been working my way through this giant book. This is a complete collection of Tove Jansson's Moomin Troll comics, and she is a really well-known Swedish-speaking Finnish author, and these were her original Moomin comic strips. I believe that the Moomins later featured in various different children's books and chapter books, but these are the OG comics, and they are cute as hell. They're really funny, and I've just been loving my time in this world so far. This is honestly one of those books that I never want to finish because I've been enjoying the experience so much, but I am planning on wrapping up and reading the last of these comics during this last week of August, so this will also fit the bill for being a work of a woman in translation. So those are the books that I'm hoping to read for the Women in Translation Readathon. If we lived in a perfect world, I would finish all of them within the 1 week time frame, but reality being what it is, I really can't guarantee that I'm going to finish them all, but I am going to try my best. And I'm even thinking about doing another 24-hour reading challenge. I tried doing a 24-hour readathon back in March during the March of the Mammoths readathon, and I thought that it was like a really fun, motivating way to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time. So I'm gonna try to see if I can squeeze that into my schedule and make that happen this week. So be prepared for the possibility of seeing some more weird vlog footage on my channel by the end of this month. But yeah, those are the books that I'm hoping to read. If you are participating in the Women in Translation Readathon, please let me know the titles that you are looking forward to checking out. I'd love to know what everyone's reading. Thanks so much for watching this video, and I will see you again sometime soon.